Hello students, so this is lecture number 4 and in this lecture we are going to discuss about Coulomb's law, right? What is the force between two charges, how to calculate this, what is electrical permittivity, what is its value, and in the previous lecture we had discussed the charging method of a body, right? Okay. So Coulomb's law, Coulomb is a name of a scientist. Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law is for two stationary point charges. Coulomb's law is for two stationary point charges, right? Force between, how to calculate the force between two stationary point charges. Stationary means charges which are at rest. What are point charges? Point charges means, if suppose there are two charges Q1, Q2, let the distance between these two charges be r. If the dimension of the charge is very much less than the distance between two charges, if the dimension of this charge, either this charge or this charge, is very much less than the distance between two charges, then such a charges are known as point charges. They are known as point charges. That means if the dimension of the charge, the diameter of the charge is quite less than the distance between two charges, then those charges are treated as point charges. Clear? So Coulomb's law is for two stationary point charges. So these are two charges Q1 and Q2. Let r be the distance between two charges, point charges. So according to Coulomb's law, the force between these two charges is directly proportional to product of charge and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. It is almost analogous to the gravitational force, which was proportional to product of masses and inversely proportional to square of the distance. Clear? So this is a Coulomb's force F, which is proportional to product of charges, directly proportional to product of charges and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. Okay, so according to Coulomb's law, F is equals to a constant Q1 Q2 by r square, where K is known as Coulomb's constant. K is known as Coulomb's constant, and this is equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0, epsilon naught. This is epsilon naught. Epsilon. It is termed as electrical permittivity. Electrical permittivity. What is electrical permittivity? What is the value in air or vacuum? That is what we are going to discuss. Once again, Coulomb's law is for two stationary point charges, right? It will give you the force between two stationary point charges, which is equals to product of, it is proportional to product of charges and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. So finally F is equals to K Q1 Q2 by r square. K is known as Coulomb's constant and the value of K is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. This is epsilon. This is known as electrical permittivity. Epsilon naught, value of epsilon naught is 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 12. Electrical permittivity means it is the property of the medium to absorb electric field lines. This should be clear, right? It is not the permission of field lines to pass through any medium, no. It is the characteristics or the property of the medium to absorb the electric field line. That means each and every charge will produce some electric field. This is what we are going to discuss, the whole topic of electric field in next or the next video. See, both the charges Q1 and Q2, they are not touching each other. There is no contact force. That is a field force. That means this charge will produce some electric field, this charge will produce some electric field, and because of this electric field, they will have repulsion or attraction between them, right? So the number of electric field which a medium will absorb, that is known as permittivity of the medium. For an example, suppose there are 100 electric field lines which are coming from Q1 charge, right? These two charges are placed in, say, air. So air is a medium, right? Suppose air has absorbed, say, 60 electric field lines. 60 electric field lines is being absorbed by the medium. So 60 is known as permittivity. 60 is known as permittivity. This should be clear. Only 40 electric field lines reaches to Q2. Reaches to Q2. And because of this 40 electric field lines, charge Q2 will experience a force. Those electric field lines which will reach to another charge will, and the number of field lines which will reach to another charge, because of those field lines the charge will experience a force. So in this particular example, Q2 will experience a force because of this 40 electric field lines. But 40 is not known as permittivity. 60 is known as permittivity, right? If I'll take one more example where I'll say that same 100 electric field lines are coming from Q1, but now I'll say that medium is absorbing, that is air has absorbed 40 electric field. So now Q2 will experience a force because of 60, but the permittivity is 40 and here the permittivity is 60. See, one thing is to be noted, here the permittivity is more, so Q2 will experience less force because only 40 electric field lines are reaching. But in the second example, permittivity is less, 60 field lines are reaching to Q2, so it will experience more force. So according to, clear? So this also satisfies the formula F equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square. See, permittivity 40, force will be due to 60 field lines. So that means in this case force will be more, but in this case permittivity is less, and in this case permittivity is more but force will be less. See, it satisfies the equation, less the permittivity, more the force. Clear? More the permittivity, less the force. Clear? Okay. So the value of epsilon naught is 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 12. The value changes from medium to medium. Clear? And the value of K will be 1 upon 4 into 3.14 into 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 12. So this will come out to be 9 into 10 raised to 9. So the value of Coulomb's law, Coulomb's constant is 9 into 10 raised to 9. What will be the unit of this K and epsilon naught? So F is equals to K Q1 Q2 by R square. So unit of K will be Newton force into R square, distance meter square upon Coulomb square, right? And what will be the unit of epsilon naught? Epsilon naught can be written as 1 upon 4 pi K. So 1 upon K. So it will be Coulomb square by Newton meter square. Clear? Clear? Okay, fine. One more thing. The value of Coulomb's constant in CGS will be 1. That means, see, value of K is 9 into 10 raised to 9 Newton meter square by Coulomb square, right? This is SI. Convert it into CGS, 9 into 10 raised to 9. Newton, so 10 raised to 5 9. Meter square, so 10 raised to 4 centimeter square. Coulomb, we had discussed in the introduction video that the CGS unit of Coulomb is state Coulomb, which is 3 into 10 raised to 9, right? So this will give me the value of K in CGS. So this will be 9 into 10 raised to 18 upon 9 into 10 raised to 18. So the value of K is 1 in CGS. Clear? Clear? So it's all about Coulomb's law but in scalar form. Still we will discuss Coulomb's law in vector form also.